chase down Beetle, but he already repositions before Polly can come on through with the Diamond Plum into Carbon Crush and try and find that elimination and stagger for Citadel Gaming to continue their momentum. Match has the invisible boundary though. Citadel Gaming had to burn the combination last time, so it will be able to find value as Tuzi gets full bubble so he doesn't get hit by that Emerald Ultimate and can continue holding this off angle and building up Galactic Legend.
Ultimate suppressed and strategist lost. DRP forced to disengage as they watch their old captain, fall before them. It's a mad dash back to the spawn. You can see that an Aegis shield has already been erected in the doorway to try and stop any outgoing healing.
They're about to have another Jeff Nato.
Oh boy.
Tanuki and Ken are going to be able to get it online, potentially force Smash or DRP into burning their ultimate before we get the Karmic Revival, as Enzo goes aggressive with the Eye of Agamotto directly onto anyone from Chopped who could try and bypass the spawn hold and put themselves onto the objective, forcing Citadel Gaming to path backwards to that backline. There goes the Meteor M, and it does manage to at least put a little bit of pressure onto Citadel, but unfortunately it doesn't one-shot the Jeff Nato combo, and Tanuki gets 2 once more.
Once more, the Jeff Nato inside the invisible
Changing
boundary.
fast, and one role is quietly taken.
Oh. Tuzi, who will stand alone. Focused fire in onto the back line, but Alex gets plenty of healing from their compatriot in Ken. A trust long forged over years and years worth of scrims. Polly taken down onto the floor, but manages to wrestle Beetle back out of that one. Crazy Kitty on the back line is able to do a huge amount of healing for their compatriots on the healing. However, Melio still sitting, ready to go with the Karmic Revival. That rays of Damocles ready to be bashed down upon Chopped at a moment's notice. Tuzi trying to break LOS with this one. Enzo gets the solo stun over onto Masher. Follow-up's not there though. It seems like Vertigo and Crazy Kitty are taking good care of their ally who is in desperate peril. Vertigo forced to flee elsewhere, and Polly is just gatekeeping this doorway right now. You can't get past Polly.
Kicking them back into the wall so they can't get past them. Like you said, strategists denied any opportunity to help their vanguards, and Citadel Gaming find the full push.
And the body block on the heels that could come through as well. The charge just getting in the way. Oh man, Citadel really showing off one of their niche strategies with the Jeff Nato coming out.
Oh, they had so much damage coming through too. Like Melio, when he was on the Punisher, absolutely melting through a triple Vanguard lineup. The only thing that potentially could have stopped them, because they had to invest so many ultimates in one go, was if Chopped had Adam. And that's exactly why Citadel Gaming removed him from the pool. Because then if you're Chopped, you literally allow Citadel Gaming to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, into an ultimate fight, and then you just hear Born Again off in the distance. And you're up so many ults.
Yeah, I'm just going for the long con when it comes to that overall economic disparity. And Chopped, they're going to be down on their potential group play here to try and isolate a Vanguard. So instead, maybe we'll see a Cosmic Fastball out of a spawn here from Beetle. We have seen Beetle play a little bit of the Wolverine, I believe, on Araco previously.
Yes, but this is where the Doctor Strange has been gone. Citadel Gaming were liking to use the Doctor Strange for all of those shields so that they could try and...
Hello, Jesse.
Things like that Punisher. Now they know if they have the Doctor Strange, it's going to be very vulnerable to the Wolverine. So over we go to things like the Captain America, where you're going to be able to just eternally still light the objective. I like Crazy Kitty going in on this.
When are we getting our daily posts? What do you mean? On YouTube?
Also Pyro Prison on the actual main road, which means that the Vanguards are going to be taking so much tick damage as already Polly's down.
Very roundabout route here. You can see the distraction.
I used to do that. I used to do main videos every single day, like long form, and I just found that not doing it was better because I do everything on my own. Editing, recording, script writing, I do everything, so it's hard to do that every single day just on my own. And I found that if I took more time on videos, they just performed better. Because when I first started YouTube, I thought like maximizing amount of content I could is the best option. Then I realized that that was not the best way to do it, so I had to rethink my approach. And after a couple years of testing or a couple months, that every other day is usually the best option, at least for my own channel. So I did like daily videos for like a full year straight. And I was just not seeing the growth that I wanted or expected from the videos. But after swapping to like every other day, like the growth has been better. It gives me more time to work on videos and really just think about scripts. What do you want to talk about?
Did you see that secondary push come through from Mash? That was a crazy attempt at a combo.
They almost got the Adam. Perfect being done. Perfect mobility in the game. As Citadel Gaming managed to lose the Adam regardless. A crazy kitty on the Twitch. He was from his players.
Yeah.
Back in on the Doctor Strange, but
It's very exhausting.
there isn't really enough reason
Because
production for Citadel Gaming to try and go for a play. They've got to hope that this Emerald
especially because
they're going to be going into second with zero control of space.
play by yourself, yeah. It also because I stopped streaming for a while. Like I used to stream a ton, like every day with the finals. When the finals first came out, I was streaming every single day and uploading every single day. And I had content from streams. So it was really easy to upload those daily videos. But the second like you stop streaming, it's very hard to like just get clips and get content all the time.
Yeah, the only slowing is going to be on the car right now. Admittedly, Polly's doing a quite admirable job in a 1v6.
Citadel Gaming, they've got Fate of both worlds, but they need to use it for the Supernova. Ideally, Galactic Legend is healed through by the It's Jeff, but Chopped also have so much ban pressure coming on through with the torch on the top of it. I don't know if it's going to be enough for Citadel Gaming.
But I'm slowly trying to like start streaming again. It's just, to me, it's so much easier just to like edit a video. But I definitely need to restart streaming. It's so hard to talk to people like publicly, and like so much easier just to like edit a video than just upload it, so you don't have to think about like where you're gonna like keep talking. Are you just gonna stream Rivals? Probably not. Kind of been waiting for Battlefield 6. Like I'm gonna split content probably. I'm still gonna do Marvel Rivals, but I have a second channel for like Battlefield 6 content. So I wanna work on that. I enjoy both games, so. Like Marvel Rivals is still my main game, but I'll probably just do Battlefield 6 on the side.
Unreal tracking from Tuzi, but Chopped their DPS. They have to give up a little bit of space here. That is quite the position from Enzo. It demanded so much attention, but Crazy Kitty just fell through the cracks. Bro must have just descended from on high. A heavenly missile of Icarus descending upon Chopped.
Big play from Citadel. They understood that if Tuzi on that solid was going in that deep against Citadel, likely Mash on the Invis woman would also have to be close enough to be able to have LOS for the shield stagger. And off of the back of that, they'd either be able to put pressure onto the Vanguards with the better Carbon Crush coming on through, or hit the backline and force Chop to have to turn their attention away from Citadel.
Yeah.
Defensive options. Crazy Kitty tries to live the dive with the Godad's boost, but there's not enough follow-up damage, and Polly is able to get through entirely scot-free. Out comes that Venom also.
So I have no idea what you said.
Potentially damage on boosted by Alex's ultimate, but no.
When'd you
Currently to block the doors.
when'd you leave? After you said you're just gonna stream Rivals?
Oh, Beetle's gonna have freedom charge. Shopta coming in with a lot of these ultimates, but Citadel Gaming, they do have that comic revival. And where that objective has been stalled, even if Chop burn ultimates now to be able to control the objective itself, they still have to win another fight before they get more time. And
Oh, I said
Karmic Revival, they get the opportunity to strike
I am going to
piece of the abyss.
stream. I'm gonna start streaming more than about Rivals. Rivals is always gonna probably be my main game, but I have a second channel for Battlefield 6, so I'm also gonna stream Battlefield 6 once that comes out on the 10th of October. But I definitely need to stream more. It's just so much easier to, like I said, make videos because you can change what you're going to say, and it's just better.
Lays down the fire, and Chops cannot stand up to the force that was levied by Citadel. On their own map pick, Citadel walk away 3-1.
But I've realized it definitely does hurt not streaming as much as I used to financially.
That was some amazing plays coming on through, and I mean, you could see as well the strength of being able to save that Adam and have one-sided Adam.
It's like I said, I was streaming every day. So
Defensive rotation, and they also had the Karmic Revival. So Chopped, because they had to burn so much in trying to survive through the choke against a Psionic Seduction.
like legit, when I sent to my oven, started screaming at me.
Past the Vanguards and onto the objective.
Funny.
Saw Crazy Kitty having to invest the Hurricanes that he didn't get mind controlled, and thus taken down by everyone else from Citadel Gaming's side. And from there, Citadel know Chopped might be finding the picks just then, but they're all going to be brought back in a matter of moments. So you can have a look and see so many of these highlights going to be that Sharknado Jeffnado combo.
Nightbot.
Ken and Tanuki, which just made absolute magic happen. Like you said, perfectly counterplaying the invisible boundary and just grabbing everybody out of it. And you're not even impacted by the slow either, because in the Hurricane form, you're CC immune.
No CC. You have to get it burned down by raw damage, and honestly, Chop just didn't manage to leverage the options that would do that. Something like an Iron Man ultimate, potentially. We saw before during a pseudo Jeffnado meta introduced by Envy, a lot of teams pivoted over to using invisible boundary. Punisher ultimate to try and burst through, because he becomes CC immune during that.
What are your predictions for this match?
Too much to try and make that maneuver.
Tanuki here as well, absolute hero of the moment.
No clue. I kind of joined late, but I am
Momentum coming on through from Chopped.
a Crazy Kitty believer.
To be able to set up for that Galactic Legend, taking full advantage of, well, as that was the moment actually that their entire backline was being hit and accosted by a last stand coming on through.
I believe in the Crazy Kitty because when I was doing Ignite for the first time, when I was playing with my EU friends, we played against Crazy Kitty and they full spawn held us.
Shenanigans and Soulbond from the Adam knew they
They full held us at spawn, so I'm a Crazy Kitty believer.
Yeah, those double
That man held me at spawn. I couldn't leave and play the game.
confer so much survivability, but if you can isolate those shows just in a different location where you just don't have the range to get those links on your Vanguard to need a lot more of that raw healing throughput, it can nerf it somewhat. This is shaping up to be an absolute banger. I might get a sense of deja vu if we get to Hall of Jarlia next. It's going to be Chopped's choice, Moxie. We'll find out where we're going after this break.
Leaked. It's over.
I want a soul.
Oh wait, that was on my main screen. Whoopsies. Bum bum bum. W leak. True. W leak. True. Bro, where's light, bruh? Tell light to wake up. Don't you got him on like speed dial? Wake that man up, bruh. Pretty sure he's sleeping. What time did you guys get off last night? Bump. Is this the tournament? Yeah. This is the Ignite tournament. Yeah. What up? We're on YouTube. What up? Big.
Check your weather app of choice because it's stormy with a chance of sharks, with Jeff Nader reigns supreme for Citadel over on Idris Path, but now there's room for adaptation from Chopped in our best of 5 series, Marks.
Yeah, I strongly expect to see an instant ban on Jeff coming on through before Citadel get an opportunity to be able to save him, especially.
Yeah, it's the tournament.
Continue trying to these 2-2-2 compositions, because as we said, the traditional line for a 2-2-2 format in stage 2 of meta is Luna and Invis, and Jeff Nader unfortunately directly prevents Invisible Boundary from being able to find absolutely anything that it's looking for. Plus, it really does stop a lot of the traditional storm counters from coming on through, as it is going to be Convergence that we head to, but it's not going to be Hall of Dejalia. And there indeed is the instant ban of the Jeff that we expected. Chop say enough, get this out of here.
The Jeff ban, diabolical.
Environmental points and symbiotic surface, we just want him gone.
This does offer up the potential for a weapon with Mantis here. That's what you give away when you ban the Jeff first. Gonna be the first protect coming.
The Joff ban.
Okay. Well, the first missing a protect is not the worst thing.
The Jeff ban, that would have been worse.
Yes.
100% that would have been worse, because Citadel would have been laughing as they picked Jeff into the save. Citadel now going to be banning out that Ultron, so if Chopped want to go for something,
We're missing saves.
and just play the ring around the roses of the natural cover to be able to, on the defensive right, prevent the attackers from taking that high ground. That torch is going to be significantly weaker, also puts a lot more pressure onto Match if he does go for something like the Invisible Woman to have to play within LOS.
We're missing saves in.
Indeed going to punish and go.
They might restart. Yeah, they might restart if like the person that's doing them DC'd.
Now without our first protect,
Uh,
there's a good chance that we could
But
even
if
ban as well come through.
the person didn't DC, I don't think they restart.
Protect isn't the worst thing in the world, just because it doesn't inherently allow more bans from the other side. It just gives more options for what those bans could be. Speaking of which, Adam taken away, and now we have simultaneous bans.
Yeah, Chopped very much remembering the convergence strategy that Citadel Gaming had before, where they utilized that Adam and the Jeff and the 2 links to fully walk aggressively onto Chopped within the first fight, and guarantee that they picked up 2 ticks incredibly quickly, as indeed there goes the ban onto the Jeff. But Chopped,
Yeah, if I think it's like if he DC'd,
save it instead.
then they would redo it. But if he didn't DC and they missed it, they won't.
I wonder, does this mean that we see a Star-Lord ban potentially come on through from the side of Chopped? Because Galactic Legend would be built up incredibly.
Oh my.
So it also puts a lot more pressure onto them for having something like the Invisible Woman, because even though the battery gets stopped by the Jeff Nader, it stops Galactic Legend incredibly well.
Right, there goes the Hulk taking that away from Enzo's ball, not wanting to deal with the Namor potentially, and the protect on the Adam here for Chopped. So we are going to have the Karmic Revival in the back pocket if necessary. And now, without the option to ban the Atom. They go instead for the Phoenix, getting rid of that major source of damage.
Yeah, not just that. Mag could also be.
I'm sure they typed save in chat, maybe.
Despite not being picked or banned, that means that you want to remove the wombo combo potential of Ensong and
Maybe.
able to find
Depends.
through strategist ultimates. Instead of gaming, it looks like they're going to be going for that free strategist line, but it's not one that we normally get to see a whole lot of. Melio and Ken are actually going to be able to get that vibrant vitality team up coming on through for the Diathic Blessing for that Loki, which has damage boost and wider AoE spreads over regeneration domain. There's going to be a lot of front-loaded damage coming on through from Citadel Gaming side.
Yeah, we had a quick talk to level 1 Crook after their match against, I believe, V, about how he felt about the Vibrant Vitality team up for the Loki. General consensus seems to be, at least for Navi, that it is an excellent way to try and make your dives not only a little bit more sustainable, utilizing the healing and essential immortality,
Getting music for YouTube videos.
but also the surprise
Crazy.
burst and the wider AoE means that they can roam around a little bit more and get a bit more chase.
They also let Chop take the Adam Warlock, so potentially can also manage to find a copy onto the Adam, so you can still get a revive. Though Alex being on the Luna also makes for a great copy target, as we can see Tanuki currently getting absolutely damage boosted to symbiotic surface and
Fire music. Why is my Nightbot spamming?
a couple of shots hit on Chop stack.
Oh, the ping was given over. I think the information was gathered by Polly. Gets pulled in after using the symbiotic resilience. You can see that Ken pre-positioned a clone there in case they didn't use the emergency greens, but that's not going to be necessary this time around.
True, but Citadel Gaming have already been able to counter-rotate into Chopped, who are going to be trying to levy the high ground advantage, developing the angle for the Nemo, but Tuzi's coming under so much pressure. The damage boost onto the Venom. The Mag is going to be stacked with the backline and will be able to peel it, but Enzo now moves into position and tries to punish the lack of metallic curtain.
And the damage boost on the Venom also changes the calculus with how you try and deal with something. Oh, look at that green right there. Just no need to even pop the symbiotic resilience. Dealing with Venom's ultimate is going to get a little bit more weird here.
25 minutes.
Player flank coming through from the side of Chopped. Tanuki does have all of the damage.
Ooh.
Roll this one down. And Melio getting aggressive in their own right. The Mantis. It's natural anger and it's healthy.
Not just that, but Melio is going to
Dang.
essentially just stack damage boosts and only damage.
Yeah, I don't know why my Nightbot is spamming. I'm changing the intervals.
as well, coming on for back-to-back as well on the puny banner. So that shot all the more have to wait for their Vanguard to come back through, because here's the thing that they need to try and make a play for these high ground angles and develop that space for Tuzi to take control. Without the Hulk, they're forced into just waiting for him, something that Tanuki knows and is going to just be able to dash on up and get a couple of stray shots coming on through to quicker build up the ultimate.
A damage boosted Feast of the Abyss could be on the cards. Forcing out the Blessing of the Deep early here could be critical for the side of Citadel as well, knowing that that Namor is vulnerable for the next 15 seconds or so.
Chopped are going to try and split angle this at the moment, but Citadel Gaming see the absence of the Hulk, know that the bubbles aren't going to be there, and off-angle themselves to
Alright, fix them.
a very lethal in onto Match, to the point that they're forced into using the Lunar ultimate to try and live. Out comes the Ensong Inferno. Is it going to be able to find this target? Will be able to connect with the ground, but there wasn't follow-up damage in the form of the Feast of the Abyss. Citadel Gaming, though, going to try and
Nice.
exile onto Melio. Beetle breaking it at the exact moment for Tuzi's inner circle of the Horn of Proteus to directly connect onto the Mantis and take them down in one go.
An Eldritch offering to some Protean god. Alex forced to use their own ultimate here. Hulk ready to turn it around with the breaking of the worlds. Maybe a damage boost here for Polly, but no, I think that the Mantis is too far away. You could instead go for the one off the back of the Fate of Both Worlds, but the timing wasn't quite there. Maybe a little bit of shielding given on over. Polly frozen up. Beetle taken back to their regular green form. Tanuki reigns above it all. The damage boost in a dream going up against the Namor, but there's so much healing ready.
Good res.
The oceans, but Tanuki has
Pretty good res. Pretty good res.
can only really survive a little bit longer. Tanuki getting in real close here. Look at all the resources being given over to the Namor here. The carry has been allocated and the resources have been given. DRP trying to do their best to just stand up against the tide being brought forth here by Ken. Polly's going to be alone in the back but can easily disengage. In comes Giganto.
Really good whale.
To Ken, who's taken
Very good whale.
key for Benzo, dancing around as best they can, putting on a show for Liv.
Ooh. Ooh.
Can't stand up to this nautical master
Tuesday on this Namor has been absolutely integral to Chop's composition right now. Plus, they're going to be able to lay stake to that high ground already. Beetle developing that space already up that on that Hulk, guarding it away so that Citadel Gaming.
It's good that they're instantly grabbing the high ground here.
That blessing of the deep a little bit early, as we can see him go
Very good that they grabbed that right away.
providing a little bit of extra healing coming on through from Vertigo to build up the invisible boundary.
Yeah, Poly just doing their soft dives as best they
Pretty
can.
good spot from 2Z. Good flank.
Rolling on forward now. Doesn't really have much charge to try and work with. DRP ready to catch the
Oh.
Ken and Alex. Oh, they must have used their greens early.
Surely we have runes there, no?
Facilitate a dive. Vertigo gets traded, but I think the damage has already been done. The healing simply isn't there. All they can do is sacrifice themselves onto the car. What's Tanuki cooking?
Why did we ult?
Entirely sure what Bro's up to. Gonna send it on down. Obviously, the 400 gets burst through rather quickly in the midst of all of this. Tanuki is gonna be able to get out of there somehow.
He lives? How?
Coming on through, potentially force as well soulbind. Crazy Kitty doesn't actually buy into it. Beetle though gets taken out of Hulk form, and Tanuki rather still up on that high ground, keeping up the pressure onto Chop's players.
Remember, onto those Loki clones, you get easy squid berserks.
Oh.
Headshots onto them. Still, Tuesday didn't see the off angle coming through from the Phoenix. A 2 versus 1. It was unfair, but it's unfair to be returned to life after all. Crazy Kitty takes that one on down. Multiple players crossing the path of Enzo means spinning kicks abound. A soul resurgence to bring Squirrel Gaming back into the force, and that's going to be the Horn of Proteus. Not really able to get too much there. Beetle tried to corral players inside, but the shepherding was ignored. Over to the Worldbreaker Hulk, knowing that almost over is the reign of the Luna.
I feel like 2Z's doing so much, it's just like
Damaging strike from a Phoenix, yes, but
they have Phoenix, so it's like unlucky.
engagement now for DRP. And I think that Beetle might be a little bit too deep in to try and survive this one. Could actually try and grab someone on their way out. But has to be careful not to be staggered in that banner form. Enzo needs to just dodge away as best they can with the Carbon Crush as the remainder of Chops roll forward.
With Beetle still in the backline of Citadel Gaming, stuck inside that banner form. DRP does have that Meteor M though, something that Ken is going to have to really closely watch for when he goes for this copy onto the Luna's Fate of both worlds. Poly with that Venom Feast of the Abyss, sees where the Magneto is going to be. Can Tanuki
Ooh.
no, he can't. Regeneration domain already going to be coming in through from Citadel, so that they can go for that premature copy onto that Luna. They've still got the time. Now comes the fate of both worlds to push the team forward and potentially find the damage boost for the Feast of the Abyss.
AoE a touch too strong. Melio rolling forward, becoming a duelist once again in their own right. Damage boost on Feast.
Oh.
He had dreams of resurrection, but Gethsemane, this is not, and he's shut down in short order. Crazy Kitty reses themselves. In comes the portal. There's going to be a last-second recontest courtesy of the Sorcerer Supreme. The Pentagram of Thrala is opened, and the body block is shied on by here. Vertigo could be knocked out of their own ultimate and potentially burst on through it whenever healing's not the most, even post-buff.
I have a feeling we're gonna see 9.
Melee DPS has made themselves known on the point. Tuzi's already down, floating above it all. An Imperious Overlord has no magnanimous designs, but the 408
It's good that they broke that.
on through. Chop put themselves in a corner, and Beetle's back on the emergency deployment of the Wolverine. They need to stay on the point at all times. Mash and Vertigo, not an option. Ken takes to the skies themselves. A spreading of wings as Icarus looks down upon the nations that one day said that he would never fly. Citadel, hold on second.
So the worry for Chopped coming in now is that Citadel Gaming have so much damage boost potential.
Yeah, Phoenix is banned.
6 versus
That's unlucky.
becomes a brawl for space. Citadel Gaming are
Wait.
going to be able to have such a huge lead in terms of the duelist fight.
Is it?
Tuzi is going to have to be so crazily pocketed from his team. He's already getting things like the Flake coming on through, as well as the Guardian Shield. That Vertigo are actually doing a very good job of being able to sustain this Namer and make sure that he gets to hold on to those angles and keep up the pressure with things like the monster spawns. But Citadel Gaming now have Mantis on the
2 main healers with an Atom.
Vanguards, which is going to force Chop's attention to have to turn around and deal with them, and that's going to free up the space significantly for Tanuki to basically do whatever he wants.
I feel like we just go cloak
Polly walking away with
to avoid the Phoenix combo.
the Abyss, with even a minor damage boost coming through from something.
Well, that's just my opinion.
And Melio is giving those out in spades. When you've got Alex and Ken behind you, you're
full just will be able to heal
Hmm.
all the way up. Like you said, Mantis does not need to hold on to those seeds to be able to use them for any form of healing. It is just damage boost, damage boost, damage boost. This Tanuki, the full pocket has been given. Damage boost from Mantis, idle over from the Luna. They're making a player ready for this high ground to try and force Chops into burning some of these resources, but they have to do so in staggered stages. We have to first deal with Soulbind.
All in onto the young prodigy of Tanuki, who takes a little gaze into the abyss that's offered by Chopped already. The Adam Warlock falling low, but of course life streams are aplenty here. Crazy Kitty just having to dodge away as best they can. Look at the double squids around the outside. The off-angle providers here by Beetle and Tuzi needs to be addressed.
Big play from Polly, though, was able to intercept where Chopped were looking to disengage from. And that means that Chopped have no place of safety. They have to try and roll the side. There goes the Soulbind, but ends has been able to close up the distance. And this room, as claustrophobic as it is, becomes an absolute horror show against an Emma with a diamond kick.
So the thing about the Soul Bond is that it shares out the damage, but if you are occupying the same pixel and both getting hit by the same attack, it does nothing.
Yeah, Citadel Gaming, just absolute textbook. We'll break down that dive a little bit more in depth when we finish this map, as we have to deal with Polly trying to get out the regeneration domain from Ken. We'll be able to save the Venom, and means that he doesn't have to give up his position too. So Chop once more denied an angle for their Namor, which is going to allow Citadel to continue pushing this objective entirely unimpeded.
Oh, one of the primary concerns was keeping that Namor up, and well, Tanuki doesn't want to allow that to happen. A huge overlaying of utility, both for Soul Bond and the invisible boundary, and yet it's still unsurvivable against Fatide. Citadel Gaming are ringing up upon Chopped, and already there's movement on the cart. Polly's actually having trouble getting out of here. Might be able to make a mad dash.
Citadel Gaming do know that Crazy Kitty is going to have Karmic Revival in this fight. The problem for them is that Crazy Kitty used the self-revive in the fight before, and they're going to be able to play aggressively forward with the Sonic Seduction. Chopped have to burn Dez first to pull out of the high ground, and just gets kicked back into oblivion before he can fall from the high ground onto the objective, and that's symbiotic surface.
I mean, the Emma was just disintegrated, reduced to atoms, up against both Enzo, who became CC immune using the diamond form, and a damage boosted Tanuki doing the melee cancels. Even the strongest of diamonds feel even more pressure. Citadel going 2-1, and well, this was Chopped map choice. Once again, Citadel stole it away.
29 assists from Melio on the Mantis.
Yep. Checks out.
Like, yeah, he only did 8,000 healing, but as we already covered, he's not going to be healing for the majority of time. He's just going to be damage boosting his players, and when he can literally just damage boost every single one of them almost on the team, not only are they going to be able to have significant lead in terms of ultimate economy, they're also going to be able to have significant lead in the neutral. That was what I was worried about. It wasn't so much about how good is the defense going to be, it's going to be about how uncontested is this attacking going to be, because Chopped, the second they lost momentum, there was no way other than just dumping all of their ultimates that they would be able to regain it. We saw that every single time Citadel saw that they had that high ground hold for Tanuki, they knew that they could take the fight against Tuzi and always come out on top.
I think
Nightbot does need to chill out. I'm to chill out.
Melio Mantis as well. Obviously, Mantis usually permabanned. Wasn't too sure who would be playing it on this roster. But Melio certainly seems to be getting a lot of value out of it. Of course, when you've got a Giga Aimer...
Unlucky that Chopped kind of messed up on the picks and bans.
Damage from the Soul Bond means that they get hit even more because extra players take damage, and while you were trying to concentrate all your healing in on the Adam and the Invis, when extra players are taking damage from that end song, it means it can hit those breakpoints that usually you'd be able to survive.
Yeah, something to note as well, it's really smart how they tried to go into the invisible boundary. They went for two ultimates that have one hit of damage. Feast of the Abyss, one hit, Endsong Inferno also going to be coming on through, trying to catch that 180 heals per second, tick in between the seconds to make sure that they didn't have to stack more damage on top to be able to find those eliminations.
Yeah, it was great planning there from Citadel, but Chopped are far from out of it yet. Domination is going to be available as our map pool is once again reset. Apart from the maps we've played so far, we'll find out where Chopped want to take us after this break.
Oop, RNG time. Bad boy.
Is a map 5 on the horizon here between Chopped and Citadel, or is this going to be some good, honest, salt-of-the-earth, blue-collar 3-1 Marvel rivals? We'll find out as Chopped are going to take us to what could be their last map in the group stage.
Yeah, we finally found the composition that has enough damage to be able to break through all of the sustainability that one-sided Adam brings. And surprise, surprise, it's damage boosted Mantis with Loki damage boosting. But, you know, just an extra little bit of damage boost on top, plus the Luna damage boost too. Like, it's kind of crazy that Citadel through the ban draft were able to secure themselves not just one form of damage boost, but 3, which really did mean that Phoenix was absolutely frying every single time we went to Tanuki's POV.
Yeah, like, you just do so much damage. When you're building up those sparks, you get into melee as well, and you're doing even more because for some reason she's the best melee duelist in the game. It's just ludicrous, honestly. And like melee is pumping out the damage on the Mantis as well. You can really throw it out on the Mantis, and you get rewarded for how well your aim scales with each of the headshots refreshing a life spore. So
yeah,
you know that melee is going to be getting more spores than your average Mantis.
True, and Chopped kind of got punished as well. They tried to play this Hulk Namor to have just so much spam damage and try and pick apart Citadel when they were looking for rotations, plus Namor being able to control the off angles with things like the Invis Woman, the Guardian Shield, but that meant that they had a majority of their players stacked up so they could receive things like the AoE healing from the Guardian Shield and also the bubbles from the Hulk. So that Phoenix is not just hitting one person, she's hitting
Oh my god.
plural, which is incredibly quickly charging up all of that damage from that end song Inferno and the spark application too. And it also meant as well that Citadel saw a huge chunk of space that was entirely free from them. They went for the contest on the high ground on the right side of the point itself, and when we're actually following their walk up, you get to see the silhouette of the Venom go all the way around the left side, deep into where Chopped would try and disengage when they were pressured, falling from the high ground onto the point, trying to stabilize one of their vanguards to hold the point, and pulling their strategist back into that box off of the side of it to be able to try and steer away from some of that spam pressure coming in through. But that just meant that the Venom was there to greet them.
Yeah, like one of the things about the Loki damage boost as well is that when you've got these 3 strategists, you've got such a healing output and such a capacity for triage, but you can be a little bit more laissez-faire with the usage of the long cooldown of regeneration domain, where when you have 2 strategists, you might want to use it a little bit more for something like an anti-dive, maybe saving your Luna, or even saving yourself when your Luna potentially...
Everyone needs to chill out.
He doesn't have a huge amount of self-healing available, but with what can be given out by Melio, it changes the calculus. We'll go to domination now. It's Chopped's map choice, and they can go basically anywhere we haven't gone before.
Oh, I hear Hell's Heaven.
You do hear Hell's Heaven. Oh, you get the music this time. Clap,
I
clap.
do get the music. I mean, Hell's Heaven Overtime I think might be my favorite, but I mean, Citadel Gaming, this might be one of their favorite maps. This is a very big risk take coming on through from Chopped.
It's very interesting.
It's one of the best dive maps. This is also one of the best Black Panther maps, and Tanuki is already teasing it.
I mean, admittedly, Tanuki has been teasing it for the last 2 maps. I still believe that it could be a great play. And you know what? Chopped is like, you know what? That Mantis character, pretty good actually. Pretty good.
What are the chances? What are the chances this is the first time we get to see the Black Panther Hulk team up in action?
It could be real. It could actually be real.
Because especially if you're going up against Mantis, like if your Black Panther does get slapped, that shield is going to automatically kick in when he goes low enough.
That's true. That could be a great way to try and mess with that. Probably going to see Citadel. I mean, they might protect Emma, but surely they'll protect Mantis. It did so much for them. Yeah,
I was going to say.
They don't want to have a one-sided Mantis either. Likely both teams are either going to make a play for the Adam here in terms of bans, Or maybe
Also,
a little bit of a heist protect.
Emma, like on Hell's Heaven, we also tend to see rushdown compositions, like full dive compositions, coming on from this map type. Navi have played it, FaZe have played it, Citadel have also shown shades of it in the past, so I wonder if we're actually going to be seeing just a full mobile composition, and Emma doesn't really fit into that. Emma is great at stopping rushdown with things like the Carbon Crush, but not so good at being able to play in as aggressive places with the high mobility that is afforded to things like the Captain America or the Venom.
Okay, the Loki ban. The Vibrant Vitality shenanigans shut down. I mean, can you imagine what that would do for a Black Panther as well? I mean, I know we're talking about the Black Panther a lot, but like projecting that into the enemy backline could be ruinous, NGL.
Citadel Gaming keeping their options open as well. Being able to save the Emma means that they can go for a number of compositions. As Chopped still haven't really targeted any form of dive either. The Adam going out from both of these teams means that we don't have to worry about one-sided soulbind for the first fight, nor Karmic Revival to be able to stall it until you're able to win it, as Ultron is going to be taking
Good.
the side of Citadel Gaming a little bit later. As you can see, Chopped
Save Emma.
sure that if it is going to be a dive component with Citadel Gaming, maybe spicing up the ban draft by trying to mind games Chopped with the Emma save into thinking they're going for more of an anchor composition, instead then immediately curveballing into a dive. They want
Ban
to
Emma.
do Ultron just in case as Chopped are going to be saving the Loki, so they get one-sided Vibrant Vitality and are going to be looking for the front-loaded damage composition the way that Citadel Gaming used it against them previously.
Maybe one-sided Star-Lord or Phoenix here? Citadel trying to get a Premier Duelist gap? Okay,
Psylocke.
gone.
They are diving.
Like we've said before that Tuesday does cop the target.
Be fun to see.
Tuesday's
Oh.
the main
Oh.
around Celestial Husk.
It's happening. Tanuki on the Black Panther. I mean, this is the thing as well. Remember, Mash going onto the Loki means that the spear throws into the spinning kicks are going to actually afford Tanuki even more armor health.
Yeah, and we talked about how the priority of greens, like the regeneration domain for Loki, changes when you got that Vibrant Vitality. Admittedly, we aren't seeing as aggressive a composition here from Chopped, where they might use it to try and reinforce a Venom's dive, so maybe it will be held a bit more defensively for when Tanuki comes in.
Yeah, something to note as well is that Chopped got the full Vibrant Vitality. They got the Groot and the Mantis and the Loki, which means that we're going to be seeing a lot of sustainability, but not only that, Strangling Prison as well. If it is going to be like a dive composition coming in from the side of Citadel, and you run like the Captain America or potentially even something like an Angela or a Venom, you don't have all that many shields to be able to try and block a Strangling Prison combined with Ensong Inferno follow-up.
Oh, we're doing the Rad or the Gale Classic. Going for the freeze.
Quite low. Tanuki going to be rolling out here with the Icicle Arrow just to try and shut down any potential usage of the portal, and then back to the Black Panther.
I believe that was something that Rad did in NA, where they utilized the the chilling assault coming on through the Luna and the Hawkeye, so that it goes through scenery and actually prevented
Damage boosted BP.
portal. And now, as we said,
Full dive.
on over to the Black Panther. Citadel are on full dive. Luna and Mantis.
What was that?
Sustainability in the long term, but it's not meant to be long term.
No runes.
Looking for an assassination whenever someone walks past, and those backline becomes a little bit more vulnerable.
Green's used. Now it's time for Tanuki to potentially feast. Looking at this backline, remember Vibranium marks onto these Lokis. Tanuki hits the wall, and so he's going to have to try and disengage here. The Black Panther once again sent to a slumber party elsewhere. Just doing
Good.
his best to carve through the group.
3, 2, 1, dive.
Some good old salt of the earth.
Woo!
That is the Tanuki we know and love. Just
Oh, he's emoting, bruh.
forever.
You know what? I think we might be seeing Thing at some point come through from Chopped, just so that they can trade these things.
Oh, that's crazy.
Tuesday's gonna be swapping on over.
That is crazy.
You do now off of the Trooper's Fist connection, apply Earthbound. The problem is, can you manage to catch Tanuki? Because that cat is going to be incredibly slippery. Connection, apply manage to catch Tanuki because
Best to carve through the group. Some primary fires. Nothing wrong sending out a Strangling Prison. Didn't want any of that smoke, but Melio's going to be the one creating smoke.
into Soul of the Trooper's Fist. I think we might be seeing Thing at
Some primary fires. Nothing wrong with that. Some good old salt of the earth pan thing around. And that is the Tanuki we know and love. Just, yeah, bro's going for the... Some primary...
Same thing at some point come through from Chopped, just so that they can try.
Bro, emoting. Fire.
Some primary fire. Uzi backing off to the healing of their backline, knowing exactly where Melio is, gets the damage boost. It's an unfair fight, but already has been afflicted with a spark. Nice slow there onto the disengagement of Enzo, but that invisible boundary is so far away from the remainder of the team. They're all in onto Ken. The Soul Resurgence means nothing to Chopped as they just carve on through. Here comes the Black Panther, instantly chokeslam. Thank you, ma'am. To the back, Tuzi says absolutely not. No second chances, no forgiveness, and no contestation ready.
Big plays coming up for from Chopped. However,
What?
coin flip just yet. Ken comes up through with the portal brawler. We go into freedom charge, and Polly is going to allow Citadel Gaming so much sustainability to hold on to this point. Vertigo is forced into utilizing.
What up, Dragon King?
Because Chopped used absolutely everything they had it in their arsenal to try and disengage it, and now Citadel just have the overall numbers and target focus onto player by player. 6 dive
Took a month.
components, and Chopped
Break.
wiped off a frozen airfield.
Really dropping the Sleepy Blade and Sleepy Jeff. It's nap time for Citadel Gaming.
A break is always nice.
Them down. However, it's worth noting, over on Celestial Hut,
Wait,
Citadel
go
did
grab something real quick.
dominate on the first point.
Be right back.
And then Chopped hit them with a full reset.
True, but I mean, hell's heaven. This is just Citadel Gaming's playing field. It was great from Chopped. Like, the one fight where they were able to use Beetle on the Captain America to bypass all of the dive setup from Citadel, go on to the point, force the backline to have to look at him, stalled out long enough as well for all of the damage boosts to have run out that when the dive hit, Chopped actually had the opportunity to survive it. But now we're going to be seeing big swaps coming on for onto Eldritch Monument. There's pillars around the point itself, which means flyers. Tuzi's going to be going over to that Star-Lord, Crazy Kitty, the Torch. These are things that you cannot dive, and these are things that are going to be able to pressure the dive of Citadel Gaming too. Scout it on out, give the call to your team so you can counter rotate before it comes on through. The worry is if you lose the first fight and have to play into retake, because the dive is always going to have the advantage of space.
All right, Tanuki. Prowling readily around the edges. Quick love kept tap. A kiss between the Venoms over there. Tanuki looking towards the back. Actually sees the armor pack, so he's going to be able to do some work on the BRB. Oh, won't be able to get rid of Tuzi though, who's already fallen on down. Oh, the mid-airs, hello. Didn't go for the ultimate here. As Tanuki's ready to once again descend on some weakened opponents. Enzo falling low. Following after Tuzi. Nice right click for the iframe. Dodges all of the incoming damage, but the damage has already been done to Chopped, who loses their front line. DRP and Beetle unable to be healed through effectively.
Yeah, and Chopped now losing that.
Okay, I'm back.
spacing.
What's the difference between Ignite and Champions? Like MRC and Ignite? Ignite is like what you play for LAN.
All of that damage from
Goes to LAN at the end.
to be
MRC is just like the in-game tournament.
like just a Mantis and a linear
Lower prize pool, but Ignite is a bigger prize pool, more competitive.
the choke. Alex goes for the fate of both worlds, though. We could still see Citadel try and make a play for another turnaround of this fight. Ken's fallen since, however, Ensong Inferno being held for as long as possible. Melio also utilizing it for a full heal.
That's kind of the difference.
Detonated directly below so he doesn't get picked afterwards.
Taken down easily there, though. Beetle isolated on the other side. A quick blast of barrage coming through from the Star-Lord. And up against the large hitbox of the Venom, it's rather easy to get on through. Trying to counter out the Captain America Ultimate with the Galactic Legend. Not the most common thing I've ever seen. Ken doing their best to dodge around the pillar. Pops the Soul Resurgence. And Alex is going to bring Tanuki back into the fray. Lord help us, he's ready to bast. But it's not going to be using it right now to begin with. Seeing the extra shields given over by the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier, knows that it's not a fight he wants to take.
Ignite is to qual for a LAN in China. Or no, not in China. It's going to be in Atlanta or Georgia, I think.
Crazy Kitty in the backside, eyes given over, and it's full hearts here for Tanuki. lucky. The heart-shaped herb will carry him elsewhere as he does not want to commit, and Tuzi sends him back to the spot.
And a bigger prize pool.
Get an opportunity, especially off of this late stagger onto Melio. Now they can scout out where this dive is going to be and should be able to counter-rotate. They need to make sure that they're playing in spaces the dive is going to have problem engaging into. However, as Enzo with the Feast of the Abyss, despite not having another ultimate to back it up, because they have Ken on this Mantis, still has the potential to find picks onto match with the invisible boundary.
Doesn't even use the Bast. Damn. Bast won't be descending today, but the Star-Lord might do a little bit better. Crazy Kitty descends on top of Alex right here and chopped once more. Looking a little bit better on their second round of domination. Tanuki gonna have to report back to their Mantis to receive yet another damage boost. Maybe a little healing spore as well. We can see that it's on Enzo at the moment. Meeting Crazy Kitty in midair, heading towards the back. Oh, the solar
nice.
quite connect, but Ken's not quite so lucky. DRP with excellent bounces off the walls, knows all of the ins and outs of a Venom movement. Beetle, mag dumped into the head, but you know what? He can do this all day. He's got the brains of democracy on his side. Beetle trying to disengage. A little sliver of health is all that he needs as he makes his best escape attempt.
Supernova still being held as well.
Swap to Rocket.
The invisible boundary has not yet been forced by matches. Citadel have not been able to find the same level of impact they were previously having to play into these retakes. Look at the amount of information Chop to have from just the Torch's POV alone to be able to clear all of these angles, figure out where the dive is going to be coming from, relay it to the team.
And it's just a good anti-dive setup, unfortunately.
In comparison, Citadel having to go so much deeper. This time it's going to be Galactic Legend, but that forces out the invisible boundary. Tanuki trying to have to turn his attention now with the ultimate onto anything therein and potentially peel as well as DRP was looking for a counter dive.
Tuzi's turn's going to be soon when it comes to that Galactic Legend, and there's no such countermeasures available for Citadel. Yeah, there was an impact coming through from the side of a Phoenix, but Melio hasn't got too much off the back of that one. In fact, Tanuka's already fallen on down.
Nice.
Dancing for their life, but Chop just surround. They wait. The Piranhas are circling, waiting for a moment to strike. The blood has hit the water, and Polly is declared that freedom reigns over all, but Beetle has similar ideas. The Cosmic Yarn Amplifier means extra damage from DRP. The Feast of the Abyss chomps through Chopped. At 99% here for Chopped, they are still able to try and hold on to this point. Ken taken down by Vibranium Energy Saw. That's animal abuse if ever I've seen it. DRP's Dark Predations are counted out by Enzo. The tracking isn't quite there. The evasiveness of the Rocket Raccoon, an attempt to try and move away from Vertigo, and even with the Feast of the Abyss, Enzo still has to stand alone against the tide. Crazy Kitty returns on the Sorcerer Supreme. A pentagram of Ferrella. It's the shape of water. It's the shape of victory. It's a shape too far as Melio's taken on down. The invisible boundary holds safety for
VC9, unlucky.
And Citadel Gaming aren't on the point to keep it contested.
Yeah, but that's the small difference is for an Ignite, you're competing for a land, and MRC, you're just competing for like online tournament prize pool.
Which again, Chopped coming on through with these swaps over to both the Torch and the Star-Lord, two components which are so much harder for Citadel Gaming to be able to get on top of. And actively dive has brought so much more safety for Vertigo and Mash. Mash went down 7 times. However, so many of those times were on the first round alone. The Invis woman in comparison, Eldritch Monument, was on holiday for the amount
Time to
of
swap.
pressure that she had to deal with to what she was having to take account of on frozen airfields.
It all ends on the Super Soldier Factory. This has often been where the Jeffs reign supreme, but banned away from both sides. And I'm getting the awful sense of deja vu, Marks, as once again, Chopped have come alive in the late game of domination.
Citadel and Chopped all the way to the brink. Citadel going to be coming out with a triple strategist line, fully pocketing the sole duelist Tanuki, who is going to be getting absolutely everything. Idol Aura, Mantis boost, and Invisible Woman, but he has to go toe-to-toe. 2 versus 1 against Mash, and Tuzi has already been able to find one, and Polly manages to find the backline when everyone's target focus is turned.
Yeah, Vertigo was distracted elsewhere, trying to make sure that could be a slightly even fight against Tanuki. All in onto scaring Polly off the point and managing to convert on it too. Despite losing the first casualty here, Chopped managed to convert using the Cosmic Yarn.
It did cost them an ultimate, but now, as we've seen, Chopped have so much information and advantage into this next fight. Tanuki trying to build up the end song Inferno so he can pair it up with Polly's Feast of the Abyss, but Crazy Kitty with that Supernova is going to be able to zone Citadel Gaming out of every single angle. A big carbon crush comes on through from Enzo.
What a grab.
Kitty vulnerable, but the Supernova was still down, and Chop still got to push ahead.
Yeah, the Flame Cyclone still sucked up all of the Citadel, and they did not have their fire insurance.
Tuzi's going to have Galactic Legend. Melio now moves over to the Psylocke to be able to put pressure onto DRP, but also put pressure onto both Crazy Kitty and Tuzi. They've got Fate of both worlds, but Citadel really don't want to have those ultimates forced when they try and drop to the point, because Chopped will just be able to come in with later sustainability. Big pick, though, from Tanuki onto Tuzi means that they don't have to worry about Galactic Legend and can push forward with the Venom aggressively into the back line.
Backline once again. Endangered by the Venom. Vertigo noted up top. Tanuki's aim is just crispy clean. I've never seen nothing like it. Chopped still in control. They mash them next to full. Only the Vanguards really remain on the point. I think that Tanuki may have actually just thrown that one into the lava, which is not the ideal teleportation. An attempt here at a re-engage. And a little bit of a wild portal coming through as well. And the emergency usage of the regeneration domain keeps Chopped in this one for a while longer. Up comes the invisible boundary. It's countered out by Alex. Looking forth, it's Emma Frost who tries to claim their minds. Tuzi does their best to dodge away from incoming deliberations. The charisma saving throw doesn't work on out, but it might well be the Dex that works out instead. No, Melio has the hit markers, hit the AC indeed. Tanuki looking for all of these vulnerable players underneath. The shield of the Seraphim is nothing compared to the element guns being pumped forth from Tanuki, and it's finally going to be a flip in favor of Citadel.
Oh my goodness, the patience of Melio to not pop that Dance of the Butterflies before Tanuki's in position to follow up and stack the damage with Galactic Legend after all of the strategist ultimates from Chopped has ended. However, Chopped 95% on the point, just need one singular fight. Citadel going to have to play this absolutely perfectly. DRP on that Venom going to be pulling over to the point and pulling a lot of that attention, allowing him to meet up with Tuzi and pick Alex, but at the same time there's been a trade of the backlines. And only one has the Rocket Raccoon to be able to bring them back.
Yeah, the BRB brings Alex back into the fray. DRP looking elsewhere. Once that back line, a frenzied arrival could be everything, but with the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier, it's too dangerous to try and touch the point. Tanuki has to try and make it work, but the Blaster Barrage is easily gunned down by Chop to have all of their arrayed members looking for the stragglers, the refugees of Citadel Gaming, and they're not allowing entry here despite Polly's proximity to the point. The deja vu rings real in my mind as Chop bring us to a climactic map 5.
Dive versus Dive is just an absolute joy to be able to watch. DRP's Venom as well, the last time these two teams matched, we saw from the replay that we highlighted when we showed the rosters, was an absolute standout of that match. Being able to come on through this time around on that Venom, pulling all of the focus, and then meeting up as well. So it isn't just Citadel Gaming having to contest the point flip and dropping off of the high ground, not being able to find any opening, having to as well respect the fact that Chopped had better ultimate economy when the fight turns into that brawl situation and moves away from a dive window. Still losing out on the Luna because he was able to perform the point to join his Starlord on the high ground catwalk and find the pick necessary to give Chopped the confidence to start utilizing those ultimates before Citadel had anything to match.
Yeah, Dive is beautiful to watch, but it's also hard to watch. Big shout outs to our observers here at Ignite, managing to catch that map so perfectly that we really understood what was going on at all times. And you know what? Sometimes you rage bait with emotes and you do actually get them angry. Sometimes you don't want them angry though, Mox. Sometimes that's a dangerous proposition.
Well, the torch as well. Crazy Kitty and Tuzi. So many times we see just teams go for something that is entirely undiveable. Ultron is one, however, Citadel removed Ultron from the pool, understanding that he would be making that dive's life an absolute misery, as well as the Black Panther too. If they want to run Black Panther at any point in that map, Ultron had to be given the boot almost immediately. And huge props as well to Chop for being able to survive the Black Panther. They gave up the Loki, something that they actually protected. They went for the Mantis, they went for the Loki, they saw how much value it was getting from Citadel before, essentially tried to go for front-loaded damage composition, saw it wasn't working, and actually had the game knowledge and humility to say, okay, this was a mistake, let's swap, and they won the map off of that swap.
The pinnacle of EMEA is delivering as promised. In our top 4 teams, Chopped certainly has earned their space despite being a newer team. Map 5 awaits. It's Citadel's choice, and it's coming after this break.
Fire.
Never have I seen 2 teams go so hard in a seeding match, but when the reward is dodging FaZe, you very much have to put in the effort, because FaZe are coming out of Group B as our 3rd seed, which means presumably our 2nd seed from here in Group A would face them at the beginning of the bracket for playoffs, and that's a scary prospect. But even scarier is the prospect of dropping your 5-map series. And now Citadel get to choose where we conclude our Gigabanger.
Yeah, I will say at least it hasn't been a reverse sweep. Like, there's something a little bit more taxing on the mind about being up 2 maps and then fumbling the bag 2 times in a row and then going into the 5th one with that playing on your mind, essentially going, we could have won this, we could have finished this out, we should have won this, and then tilt's going to start coming into play, right? And you can't afford to tilt at this point in the game. You just have to go, okay, that was that game, that was that round, this was the ban draft, and we're going to be changing this about our ban draft coming in, and now we're just going to continue trying to play our own game. And that's something that Citadel have always been known for, both when they were under the name of Berber Patapim, and then when they got picked up to Citadel, they didn't really care about what was meta. They made their own meta etc. as we got to see with things like the Black Panther. So if
True.
we do go to something like Call of Djalia, I feel like we're probably going to be seeing something a little bit different to what we would traditionally see. Maybe they go back over to that Hulk Namor to try and control some more of those off angles against the Flyers. But that's my worry, Harry. Any of the convergence maps that are left, Central Park or Call of Djalia, are really good Flyer maps. And I mean, they just lost to a Flyer composition. That Human Torch Star-Lord swap was huge from Chopped.
Yeah, maybe they don't opt in for that, knowing just what's waiting on the other side. Like, Tuzi's really scary on these. Crazy Kitty also amazing to pivot over onto the Human Torch. Having two good Human Torch players on a team does mean that, like, it's very hard to preempt you when it comes to your map picks here. And for Citadel, it's going to be all about just, like, gathering their own, like, chakras a little bit as well. You know that Salah's going to be making them do the simultaneous clap to try and get on the same page. But, like, when you talk poop and you get bashed in return, it does weigh on the mind a little bit, you know. They were dropping the emotes. They were saying some Wakanda forever. And then they may have got their intestines spilled on the floor. It happens. Sometimes you just motivate the enemy to come back at you all the more difficult, and that could also mean that the karmic bounce back of mental attacks can really start to afflict you.
Arako?
Yes. The banger is playing.
Okay, so it is a dodge of convergence. And yeah, we talked about it. We were worried, like, Call of Djalia too, the last time these two teams met up, like, yes, Citadel Gaming walked their attack around the first time around, and then failed to pick up the point percentage necessary the second time around. So I feel like that's another reason why you would try and dodge that.
I wonder if they're going to do the dive goats hold.
As we're going to be seeing, yeah, Mantis getting insta-banned out as both of these teams not repeating the same mistake of letting that one through the draft.
All right, might see Jeff ban here, potentially Adam. Maybe we look towards a Vanguard ban. I would be interested to see if once again Citadel pivot into what they did on Idris or Path and getting rid of a Groot late in the ban phase.
Yeah, I feel like Ultron's definitely going to be targeted as well because it does strengthen things like that torch onto both the attack when he gets to wrap around and put pressure onto your backline, as there are so many angles that open up for the attackers if they're just allowed like 2 meters out of their spawn room, while also really strengthening a defensive hold off of how quickly and frequent you're going to be able to build those Rage of Ultrons. Chop prioritizing the save onto the Invis isn't really a surprise because it's really good pressure onto things like Dive, which we've already seen Citadel Gaming go for. Having to go for soft dives with both the Venom and the Hulk so they don't have to worry about the force physics pull means that if you're going for a dive composition, it weakens up your presence on the actual convoy itself in a sustained long-term fight against an attacking team, while it also now puts pressure onto Citadel Gaming to have to think about how strong is Crazy Kitty and Tuzi going to be on something like a Phoenix or a Human Torch.
Yeah, the looming spectre of a Phoenix Human Torch fiery duo will always burn a spectre in the mind of a band.
They're just matching.
Let's have a look as to where Citadel are going to pivot now, knowing that they're likely going to be going up against an Ultron, and we know that that is a great enabler for something like a Human Torch, and the Invisible Woman is also up, so maybe you have to ban the Torch here. Maybe the hand has been forced.
Emma.
Allow it.
Okay, so Citadel are going to be able to really strengthen up a dive composition. Yes, they have to worry about the Invis. They also have to worry about the Ultron because you really can't dive him as a hero either, given the fact that he's literally above you. So you can't take ground damage all that frequently from something like a Venom teamed up with a Captain America, as they're actually going to be able to play their own Ultron too. So no one-sided Ultron. What I'm worried about is the fact that Chopped, by banning out the Jeff, have cut the impact of Storm by 50%, because that Jeff NATO composition, we see Storm a lot of the time in spawn break holds. In fact, Citadel Gaming have used the Storm Punisher multiple times on Convoy to be able to play off of the attack and instantly break a defense and then play off of the composition to get half of momentum forward onto second. That now gets removed, so your invisible boundary for MASH is going to be finding far more value now.
I was interested to see what the last one was going to be with Human Torch. I thought maybe they were going to go for the Invisible Woman. Knowing that that's still available means that there's still an option to do something like pocket a Star-Lord with that Guardian shield. That often means that you can take those mid-air engagements.
Mag didn't catch a strobe either, which means you can bubble your Star-Lord fully too.
Yeah, that's a lot of potential resources could be sent that way, especially when we know that there is going to be a Human Torch who's getting the true VIP treatment from both a Ultron and an Invisible Woman being available.
Yeah, it's literally every duelist stream is essentially what Chopped are going to be able to have. And I mean, it makes sense. That was sort of all businesses' MO as well. When they had Tuzi back then, literally he would be gaining every single resource. And like you said, being able to play both Tuzi and Crazy Kitty on these high impact duelists in a meta where we see so often the ban drafts being forced onto strategists frees them up to pick whatever they choose to pocket it. As it's actually going to be Crazy Kitty on the Doctor Strange and Tuzi on the Ultron, showing that Storm very much got power crept by Human Torch in just the basis of survival with being able to obscure the hitbox. That is a very static Storm into a beam that is very good.
The insta pick.
A mega level mutant meets Sigma level aimer over here from Tuzi. Just burning through the regeneration domains. Once again, Tanuki is going to be the primary.
Why are we not pocketing Tanuki?
Utilizes all of their utility to get away from the incoming damage. And Chop, they are.
This is not getting healed.
A bit of a relay race on the point. Everyone coming in and out just to stop the Flora Colossus from moving too far.
Great group walls as well coming through from Polly to really limit what March is able to do on this Invis woman. DRP though is going to be able to find the first pick onto Enzo, and Chop going to be getting to move on forward off of the back of that one, forcing out the regen domain. Melio going to be trying to find a pick onto Beetle. They will be able to get it, however Vertigo and the Rocket has not yet been targeted, which means the Captain America is right back into the mix.
The DRP is an absolute monster right now. A felon on the sticks if ever I've seen one, being and instantly misses 5 shots per second. I say so. Thanks. W.
Tuzi and actually all of the strategists from Chop side, because they've been able to heal and sustain 3 Vanguards, are going to have their ultimates ready and available before Citadel Gaming get theirs online. Out comes the Strangling Prison from Polly into the damage boost from Tanuki, and it's going to be an Agamotto attempt from Crazy Kitty to even up the playing field. However, CC immunity from Final Judgment of Melio means that Chop are going to start losing this fight now.
Aggressive play from downtown. DRP was just a few points short of having the
huge
ready, and so when it comes up, decides, you know what, I won't invest it here. Maybe use it to try and shut down the Storm instead.
You can definitely use it to try and take Tanuki down. As we talked about, you don't have to worry about the jab, so it's not going to be Sharknado off of that map, as DRP is catching so much damage, forced into having to burn out that Meteor just for survival. Tries to find a pick onto Melee with the AoE damage potentially splashing the Punisher from behind his turret. Doesn't manage to find it as the Hurricane comes on through in this boundary, forcing Chop's hand in terms of where they can position. It's either into the slow or into all of the damage from the Storm.
Sophie's choice potentially, but Ken back to the low-key form. Enzo doesn't seem to have grabbed too many mines here, as everyone's able to dodge away from the psionic seduction, the vortex that would have dragged them in. Polly backs away for a moment, utilizing this. Was that a missed carbon crush? Just across my screen, an Emma flashes, not quite able to connect, and Citadel Gaming, they've kind of run out of steam on this push.
They are going to have Strangling Prison. Potentially they use it at the same time as Invisible Boundary against Tuzi's Rage of Ultron, but the CC immunity from that Ultron is actually going to mean that Chop gets to go first. There's the Invisible Boundary Force, but they overlapped the damage boost of the regeneration domain coming on for at the same time. Tanuki with the boost will be able to take Mash down, so no uneven sustainability for Chop to be able to access. However, look at the stall. Beetle is just an absolute menace. He's just a cockroach currently on the convoy, not allowing Citadel Gaming push and forcing them to have to take another fight after they burned so many ultimates before.
And Beetle's still up in the back as well. Thornlash Walls dragged on up here, trying to isolate Crazy Kitty. The Ironwood is good to go as well, as DRP takes to the skies, taking down Tanuki, and an air-to-air interception technology reigning over them. As Melio now knows there's no Meteor M, this could be time to go with their final judgment. Pure damage ready to be laying on down. Beetle's got to flee away. Crazy Kitty, the Shield of a Seraphim can't stand up to this. The Cloak of Levitation equally poorly suited to such audacious maneuvers. Beetle stands up to dual chain guns, but democracy simply ain't that strong. And that's going to be a full completion here of first, with Ken investing the Invisible Boundary.
Big final judgment from Malio, putting all of the pressure as well onto the Doctor Strange. Going first too, so that it's not even utilizing the final judgment for the CC immunity to dodge the Strange ultimate. You just have the pressure to force the Strange not to ult, which means the entire rest of Citadel can support the Punisher and move on forward, finding the eliminations when Chopper pushed off of the objective itself. Now we're going to be seeing the swaps come through. I believe Citadel likely going to be holding on to the Storm though, so that they can use the Strangling Prison and the Hurricane combo and find even more momentum. Psionic Seduction is going to be starting things off. The Groot Wall's trying to catch the disengage, and it does lead to the isolation of Match, which means more stagger picks and more distance to make up for the amount of time they lost him first.
Yeah, cooking some smash burgers over here. Polly looking for yet another cheeky Strangling Prison. You know he loves to do these ones at long range. Catching those strategists unaware, and Vertigo and Mash are not going to be able to try and deal with this one if the Guardian Shield is already broken on down. Still, there's so much free pacing given over to the Flora Colossus. DRP ready to try and move on through. Reinforced by the Rage of Ultron. Mid-air strikes here onto Tanuki, who's emboldened by the the mid-air attempt there from DRP. Not quite what LeBron was looking for. Big slashes from the Thorn Lash walls. Tuzi's taking out one in their own right. Has the evasion to try and turn this one around as the Omega Hurricane makes landfall and carves through the vanguards. But we're brought up here by Chopped. Yeah, there's still an ultimate here from Tuzi, but you're really keen to try and invest it. No hot drop even. A full completion of B.
Melia's going to have final judgment too, to melt Tuzi in the supernova state, potentially even melt through the invisible boundary if Mash tries to fully pocket him in it as well. Chopped are losing so much time. They held so well on first, but they got blisted through on second. Citadel still have control right now of this high ground angle too, with that Punisher already in the space. Tuzi doesn't get any opportunity to push himself up onto that ledge and pressure Citadel's walk up. They're going to be starting the fight with all of their resources.
Beetle, once again, doesn't have something to try and deal with the Punisher ultimate. The Meteor M has already been used. It was a quick swap around as well as DRP moved over onto the Venom. And DRP's really taken him down as well. The assault rifle proving too much for all the powers of Clintar combined. Flame cyclones litter the ground, yes, but Citadel Gaming are ready to just roll back in thereafter. An isolation onto a Vanguard disengagement, not really on the cards. One player dragged on in, and this is forced out with defensive ultimate. It's
and
now
that's
opening
Fate
for Melio.
Yeah, Fate of both worlds was the one thing that could have kept Chopped alive through the final judgment. Now, because of Invisible Boundary not being enough, they've got to lay a Rage of Ultron over the back of it. With one ultimate, Citadel Gaming have forced two and can go back in with significant ultimate advantage without disengaging. Strangling Prison catches the fire on the torch, and that's going to have to force the Meteor M to peel for him.
Okay, up close and personal, unable to try and convert here onto Tanuki. Beetle taken down for the audacity of having to make that maneuver. A shotgun onto Tuzi, not the ideal to try and take out a flyer, but when you're looking to get as mobile and have as much motion as Melio does, it's always an option.
DRP has to go into the Venom just to try and find a slam down and be able to hold on to this point, but he goes so incredibly low. The Captain America's already been removed. Hurricane just guards the convoy. DRP gets carbon crushed out of his own Feast of the Abyss. And Citadel Gaming went from what looked like being full held to walking to and free like an afternoon stroll by the river.
Oh man, the carbon crush on the Venom there. Holding aloft for Symbiote. Zeus, an offering to your grace. Take him in your storm.
You're just trying to summon four. I'd say that's closer to the circle of life.
You know, it seemed like a circle of anti-life to me, if ever there was one.
Oh, Citadel Gaming though, that play where they used Psionic Seduction, it's so smart. Psionic Seduction is going to seduce the Invis woman. Right? If she tries to go for Invisible Boundary, she would walk either directly out of it or potentially somewhat further where Citadel Gaming would be able to find an isolated target. The only option that Chopped had to be able to deal with that Emerald ultimate was the Luna. And then they know that Final Judgment does too much damage per second for the 180 heals per second of Invis Boundary to stand up to it, so they had to overlap Ultron and Invis to stand a chance of holding the space. Instead, I'll just go, okay, cool, we pop Final Judgment, we're not going to move forward, you've burned two ultimates now, we're going to wait, and then we're going to come through a Strangling Prison and catch your flyers when you're not going to be able to shield them. Huge big brain play.
Just some great macroeconomic understanding that was instilled in Citadel Gaming. I think I see an Angela.
Wouldn't be the first time that we see her, and indeed, Tanuki is going to be on the Vanguard. Full dive comp position yet again for Citadel Gaming. The only thing that's going to be really vulnerable is Alex on the invis if Chopped are able to make a pass all the way around.
Okay, so I love the teleport play here, knowing that they're going up against the Rocket Raccoon. They know that they can maybe have access to that BRB early and force counter rotations from the harassed and harangued Rocket Raccoon. Wrapping around the back, maybe an Assassin's Charge. Crazy Kitty loses out in the duel to Melio. And look at this, it's just unfair fights wherever you go. Moving as a 2, but losing 1 means that it's essentially just a mad dash from 2. Oh, look at this contest. Yep. This is disgusting.
Don't forget as well, not only is this Angela going to be able to get off of the pit. No, the Venom swings out. Okay, DFP survives another day. But as I was saying, Tanuki's going to have so much to say because he's got the Ultra Drone, but he's also going to be able to get the overhealth when he drops down with the Axis. As the Wolverine from Beetle is spoiled for choice in terms of targeting. Tuzi has at least been able to target down Ken, and I believe it was in time before the BRB could bring Polly back on the cap too, which is absolutely massive for Chop's momentum.
Yeah, Tuzi's flicks are nasty. This guy's a mechanical demon no matter what he's playing.
He's got the Ultron and Invis pocket as well. This is going to be an absolute test of how much Tuzi on this torch can do and how much resources his team is going to be able to give him. Crazy Kitty takes Enzo down. Citadel Gaming not actually going for the portal recontest, trying to open up the fight instead. Moving for a choke with the Rage of Ultron, but the backline's been left behind.
Yup, he can't quite choose what to eat at the buffet and walks away with an empty plate. Going to be a disengagement coming through from the Venom. Remember, extra damage to overhealth from the Rage of Ultron now means the Venom can't stand up to the Rage for long. Crazy Kitty coming in close and personal, but somehow gets taken down by Polly. A Sentinel strike to carve through metal. The power of democracy doesn't matter what element you are. It'll win nevertheless. Rolling forth straight away. Heaven ready to fall as Tanuki has the ultimate available, but I'm not sure if it's going to be necessary.
I think they're gonna probably save it for when Mash uses Invisible Boundary and try and pull him out of it like a strangling prison. Oh, Wolverine Beetle almost finds the drop off from Enzo. There goes the Heaven's Retribution, but there goes the last stand at the same time. Beetle and Tuzi combining their ultimates and immediately Citadel Gaming fall.
Great combination there. Beetle now playing the Dorman. Isolation onto Mel. Oh, Polly barely stood a chance. Opened up with the assemble. Beetle's more about disassembly right now with the adamantium claws. Tanuki coming in close and personal. It's going to be all over Vertigo, trying to get rid of that lunar snow. Chasing it down would be fantastic as Melio doing their best with the Rage of Ultron to just heal through everything. Can't see what he's shooting at, but he's sure that it's effective somehow. I think there's some manner of body blocking going on the other side, potentially from a Flora Colossus itself, but the cart's going to move on forward. The mission area continues rolling. Citadel back in control temporarily as Wolverine is distracted on the backhand side. Vertigo getting the work done. However, Alex and Ken have fallen. Over health given over to Enzo off the back of a big chop, but I think the damage has already been done here. The Rage of Ultron carves through the overhealth in little time that is needed, and Tuzi's just freely running down with these fire clusters.
True, but Citadel are stalling up for a very long time. Tanuki even off of the strange came back on the Angela so he could fly back from spawn to the convoy faster. Oh, this is a brutal stagger though. Alex going down late. Now he swaps over to that Lunar as Tanuki is over to the Star-Lord. We've talked about it. Star-Lord has been one of the most impactful duelists at being able to put pressure onto these human torches. But Mash with that Invis woman and the shield is going to be able to protect Tuzi a little bit better.
Beetle wrapping around the outside, last stand ready to go. Big pull coming through from the Invisible Woman. And now Beetle still has their passive, so they're emboldened to move on forward. Tuzi starting to lay down the damage. Another big pull. The Invisible Women are absolutely on it in this blast off. And Tanuki taken down now. It's still extra space for the payload. It was temporarily stalled out by the Venom.
Ken's gonna have Invis Boundary, but you can't use it until Beetle's expended. That last stand, wait a minute, is Beetle spawn camping? That Wolverine looks incredibly deep. Tanuki's actually gonna be going over to Wolverine himself, looking to try and counter grab DRP. There's the last stand, but Alex will be able to come in for a fate of both worlds. It's not enough though to be able to heal his team through all of that focus fire, and Chopped again managed to find the eliminations to win the fight and keep the convoy moving. And going into this next fight, they've got 3 strategist ultimates to be able to out-sustain the Endsong Inferno.
Milio's going to be taken to the skies. Question is, will they find the value that they're looking for? Beetle isolated here, frozen up as well, but Crazy Kitty still emboldened, flies above it all, laying down the Rage of Ultron. Won't be converting it into casualties due to the amount of healing, but was brought out by the invisible boundary. But Polly is chasing after this. A great dodge onto both the Thief of the Abyss and the Ensong Inferno. What survivability shown here by Vertigo, and this will surely be a completion in favor of Shop of Tanuki being taken down. Yeah, there are plenty of tendrils being extended from Polly, but I don't think they've got the healing or the sustainability to try and make it through this one. DRP blocking out all that they can as Polly stands alone. Everyone else just forced to feed on in as a completion of second is going to bring this down to one final push.
Last stand available for Tanuki, potentially paired up with Enzo Psionic Seduction, so you can put more pressure onto this Torch, who has just been on absolute fire. DRP too going to have that Feast of the Abyss potentially to pair with Beetle's last stand that we've seen so many times, dropping on point with being able to track down where the Wolverine will be depositing Citadel Gaming's players. Already the Pyro Prison invested, stopping Citadel Gaming from taking a position on the high ground and pressuring that Torch, and Supernova's going to split the entire...
Is it going to have anything to do with this? I mean, not particularly.
Entirely.
DRP flattened against the wall. The Polly just cut down instead. Pyro Prism drawn on up here by Tuzi. Enzo unable to really convert into any mind control off the back of the Sonic Seduction. Tanuki looking for something